To bring on professionals in regards when it comes to lawsuits, because I feel like a lot of people can misinterpret what's going on, don't understand the full. I want people to get the full scope of what's actually going on. So I decided to bring on my actual personal lawyer, my friend, Jamar Creech, and let me bring him on. Jamar, what's good, brother?
Lords, what's going on, Mel? What's going on, man?
What's going on, Mar?
Yeah, we were discussing this case and that just popped up recently. It was filed on October 27th, and it kind of shaken up the boxing world, and has put this event that Netflix is trying to throw with Jake Paul into I don't know. It looks like a shit show now. A lot of people have questions in regards to the complaint because apparently she went right to a lawsuit. I don't know if she filed, but there's a lot of things, misinterpretation. I don't know exactly what happened. I know you've dove into the situation. What have you heard in regards to the actual the case and everything in terms of Gervonta and the domestic violence case?
Yeah, so as you indicated, there was a complaint filed in Miami-Dade court at the end of last month, October 27th. And according to reports from ESPN, there was also a police report filed as well out of this same incident. So what we could have here are two different tracks of litigation going. There could be a criminal matter going, but what we do know for sure is that there is a civil matter pending in Florida. And for the record, I am licensed in the state of Maryland. I'm licensed in the District of Columbia. I'm not licensed in Florida. However, I can read a complaint and give you all a good understanding of what the claims are and what's been alleged against Gervonta Davis.
First and foremost, like I think a lot of people, and we were speaking earlier in the regard of it being a lawsuit. For some people are saying, "Oh, it's about money, whatever." That's besides the point. But
right.
In you bring up the Cassie situation where Cassie put out a lawsuit on him, and eventually Puff got charged. She was able to. She actually ended up testifying in this trial. It doesn't eliminate charges still being brought. I just kind of want to clear that out. How does that actually work?
Sure. Yeah. So when you and I were talking offline, I use that as an example to say just to remind people in general that criminal matters are generally matters against or actions against society at large, which is why whenever there's a case, it's the United States if it's a federal case, or the state of wherever versus the defendant, because that particular jurisdiction is representing the society in which that alleged crime was committed. Whereas civil law addresses private matters between individuals. So whether it's, in this instance, the plaintiff is alleging that Gervonta Davis hit her. So there's a battery claim. But actually, there are two battery claims. There's battery and then there's aggravated battery because Gervonta Davis is a professional fighter. So him allegedly hitting this woman would not be the same as if, say, I did, right? Because I'm not a professional fighter. Mm-hmm. So there's battery, there's aggravated battery, there's a kidnapping claim. There's a claim for intentional infliction of emotional distress. Mm-hmm. And I think I may be missing one more off the top of my head, but there's a total of 5 claims. Mm-hmm. Oh, false imprisonment. That's the other one. So what we're looking at are all these claims are being alleged against Tank, and the damages that are being sought are in excess of $50,000. Now, this does not preclude a criminal matter being brought, because as I said, this is civil. And if there's an investigation that's done because of the police report, the prosecutor has discretion in terms of what charges, if any, would be brought against Tank Davis.
I'm gonna bring up the the complaint. This is it right here. I know you wanted to highlight certain things, and again,
Sure.
yeah, this is where it starts off. Let me know when you want me to go forward.
Yeah. So as I indicated a few moments ago, there are a total of 5 claims, and just to kind of walk you all through how the complaint is. This is an unofficial copy of the complaint. This is for public records only, but this is substantially what the case is about. 5 claims. Battery, aggravated battery, false imprisonment, kidnapping, and intentional infliction of emotional distress. At the top of the first page you see here, I believe her last name is Rossell, or if I'm not pronouncing it right, forgive me, but Courtney Rossell, plaintiff versus Gervonta Bryant Davis, professionally known as Tank. And this is, as I indicated, in Miami-Dade County, which is the 11th Judicial Circuit. So normally complaints look, for the most part, like this. There's a caption, and the case numbers later filled in, and then there's an introductory paragraph of some sort, and then we get into what the actual claims are, and an overview of the facts that goes with those claims. So you can scroll down to the next page. The jurisdiction and venue, just those are requirements to indicate that this is the proper place and that the court can actually hear the case based on whether or not they can exercise what they call personal jurisdiction. So whether that person conducts business, lives in the area, et cetera, right? So in this instance, they've outlined that here. And as I mentioned before, damages are in excess of $50,000, which is in paragraph 5. So the subject matter jurisdiction requirement has been met. And venue as well is proper because in this instance, all parties conduct business in Miami-Dade County. And the cause of action in this instance arose in Miami. So in other words, the underlying facts of the case arose within the jurisdiction. So what they've done here, what counsel for the plaintiff has done here is started to outline, or identify who Tank is. So unfortunately, there may be some things in here that he does not agree with, and I'm sure at some point, if he gets wind of this this podcast, he's not going to be too thrilled. But this is what's been alleged.
I mean, it's public record. I mean,
it is public record. So, for instance, they say he has vast and extensive criminal history with instances related to domestic violence and abuse against ex-girlfriends, which is likely germane to this instance because what's been alleged here is violence against a woman who he has some sort of relationship with. And then paragraph 9 talks a little bit about his criminal history. So we don't have to go through all of that. I'm just kind of laying out the facts here. So next page. And then they get into the specifics about what occurred, how they've been acquainted or how they know each other, which is starts in paragraph 10, and then what happened as far as the incident. So we can kind of walk through this a little bit more, but these are all background facts surrounding what occurred in this case. There's allegations here that this woman was threatened. She was allegedly physically assaulted, things of that sort.
Next page.
Next page, yeah. So I actually want to go down to count 1 battery, but all the preceding paragraphs lay the foundation. Then we get into the specific counts. And what's key here is to realize or recognize rather what's necessary to be proven here should this matter move forward to a trial. And civil matters are proof by preponderance of the evidence, which basically means it is more likely than not that this person is liable for this particular claim. So if you look at each particular count, there will be clues as to what the plaintiff, who has the burden of proving what needs to be proved, what needs to be shown for the defendant to be held liable. So for instance, paragraph 22, it says defendant Davis, without the consent of plaintiff, intentionally touched or struck her.